All right, welcome back to Jammin' Sports, everybody, as we're getting set for the second game of our baseball doubleheader. It'll be game one of the National League Wildcard series between the Padres and the Cincinnati Reds. Our fourth and final game one in the wildcard round. Let's recap what has happened. On the left side of the bracket, the Oakland A's defeated Boston 6-1 in game one of that American League wildcard. They take a 1-0 lead. The Yankees just defeated the Indians 4-2 to take a 1-0 lead in that best of three. And yesterday, the Giants beat the Dodgers 7-1 to take a 1-0 lead in that best of three National League wildcard. So next up, it'll be the San Diego Padres and the Cincinnati Reds, game one of the National League wildcard. Here at Jammin' Sports, if you're watching on YouTube, please follow, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And it's off to Cincinnati we go. Your lineups for tonight. Jammin' Sports presents Game 1 of the National League Wildcard Series between the San Diego Padres and the Cincinnati Reds from the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Your starting pitcher, Epirixie, the starting pitcher for Cincinnati tonight in game one of the wild card. Bear with me on these rosters in the early part of the game. Fernando Tatis, the shortstop, will lead things off for San Diego. So Rixie on the mound, and game one of the National League wild card is underway. Tatis fouls it off, 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch. High in the air. Out to right field. They're making the play. In right is Frank Robinson. There's the lineup for your Padres. Adrian Gonzalez will be the DH today. It's San Diego and Cincinnati. I'm updating the DH. Next up, Jackson Merrill in their first strike. Merrill, the center fielder. One down for the Padres. Here in the top of the first. Rixing on the mound. Here's the pitch. A ground ball to second base. Morgan will make the play for the out.
He's out.
Joe Morgan making the play at second base. Quickly 2 down for the Padres. And Sadaharu now playing for the Padres. Comes up. The first baseman. Down low, 1-0. He was on the Giants last season. Now he's on the Padres. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. Rixey on the mound for the Reds. And now the 2-0 pitch. Up high, 3-0. 2 outs, bases empty. Let me point something out when I get a chance here. Here's the 3-0. It's a strike, 3-1. Fred Gwynn for the Padres and Johnny Bench for the Reds are currently on injured reserve. As a shot out to right field, it's going to drop for a base hit. Robinson will run it down. Going for 2. He's safe. A 2-out double for Sadaharu. Remember now, we simmed a 162 game season. We're just doing the playoffs game by game. And Fred Gwynn for the Padres and Johnny Bench for the Reds are both injured and done for the season. George Scales up next for the Padres, the second baseman. Up high, ball 1. 2 outs for San Diego here in the top of the first with a runner on second base. That's Sadaharu. 1-0 pitch. And that's fouled off down the line. And the count goes to 1-1. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. One pitch. 2-1. Low and outside. 2 balls and a strike to Scales. 2-1 pitch.
That's
Ball 3. Padres, a wild card team. The Reds won the NL Central. And now the 3-1. That's fouled off down the first base line. Full count now to George Scales, the first baseman. The second baseman, I'm sorry, George Scales. Here's the pitch. Swung and struck him out. At the end of a half inning, no score between the Padres and Reds. National League Wildcard Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the first. Craig Lefferts on the mound for San Diego. Here in game 1. Let's see who leads off for the Reds tonight. Ed Roush. He's the center fielder for the Reds. He'll lead things off. Facing Lefferts. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. One ball, no strikes, nobody out, nobody on. We're at the bottom of the first, no score. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. They'll even the count at 1-1 to Roush. 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. A ground ball to second base. Scales throws to first in time. Roush will ground out to second. There's the starting lineup. George Foster is the DH tonight for the Reds. Kluszewski is at first base. Let me write that down. Pete Rose will come up next. I believe he's playing third base tonight. Let me write that down. He's not playing first, I know that. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field corner for Rose. Tracking it down, the right fielder, Winfield. It'll be a 1-out single for Rose. And now the right fielder, Frank Robinson, will come up for Cincinnati. Up high, ball one. Count goes to 1-0. 1 out for the Reds here in the bottom of the first. Rose at first base. Robinson at the plate. And now the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1-1 to count to Robinson. Charlie Hustle there. Pete Rose at first base. He passed away about a month or so ago. But he's still playing today. Here's the 1-1. Big swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2 to Robinson.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Frank Robinson was a great player in his day. And now the 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Reds here in the bottom of the first. Let's watch this one again. He swung at high heat. And now Ted Kluszewski. He's the first baseman tonight. Greg Leferts. A pitch out. Rose safe at second base. Oh, they got him. Oh, they said they got him. And that'll end the inning. At the end of one complete, no score with the Padres and the Reds. National League Game 1 of the Wild Card here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the second. Luke Easter, the catcher, will come up. Epa Rixey on the mound for Cincinnati. In there for his strike. 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Ripped into left field. Rose playing left field tonight. Throws it in. He looks safe to me, Davis, but they call him out. So it's a leadoff single.
Count 1-0.
And a stolen base to boot by Easter. Happened so fast I didn't get to tell you who the batter is. Phil Nevin is at the plate, for the Padres. Nevin is the left fielder for San Diego today. And that's ripped right to third for the out. Making the play at third base, Tony Perez. And Nevin grounds out. They keep the runner at second. 1 out for the Padres here in the top of the second with a runner on second base. Dave Winfield will come up next. He's the right fielder today. Winfield fouls it off. The count goes to 0-1. Got Davis here with me tonight. I don't know if Sparrowhawk's still here or not. Hope he is. Winfield fouls it down the first base line. Count goes to 0-2. Luke Easter is at second base for the Padres with 1 out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Winfield fouls it off. And the count remains at 0-2. 0-2 pitch.
1 ball.
Outside. 1-2 to Winfield now. 1-2 pitch. Winfield pops it up. Robinson makes the play in right field and quickly throws it in. 2 down for the Padres here in the top of the second. Ken Caminiti will come up next for the Padres. He's the third baseman tonight. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. 1-1 to Caminiti. We're in the top of the second, no score. And now the 1-1. Up high, 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Ken Caminiti. And now the 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. That'll even the count at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. We go to the bottom half of the second. No score between the Padres and the Reds. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the second. Ted Klusinski, the first baseman, will lead things off for Cincinnati. Greg Lefert's on the mound. Popped it up. Out of play. Strike 1 to Klusinski. Counts 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Up high, 1-1. Your umpires tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the second, no score. Klusinski at the plate. Here's the pitch. Up high, 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
2-1 pitch. In there for a strike. That evens the count at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Klusinski got a hold of that one. See ya. A solo shot, and the Reds take a 1-0 lead. I think that one's in the Ohio River. He nailed that one. Let's take another look if we can. I like that. Viking helmet. Let's take another look. Oh, he got up and underneath that one. Where'd that one land? In the upper deck. 1-0. And now the third baseman, Tony Perez, comes up. Reds take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. Tony Perez, a great third baseman in his day. The pitch, fouls it off, evens the count at 1-1. We'll have more baseball on tomorrow after our college football. We'll have the 2 semifinal games at 1 o'clock Eastern. Perez pops it up to center field. Jackson Merrill makes the play in center for out number 1. Perez flies out to center field.
The designated hitter,
George Foster, the DH, will come up. He hit 51 home runs in 1977. In there for a strike, 0-1. We'll have the 2 semifinal college football games tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. And then we'll head back to baseball. We'll have game 2 of the A's and the Red Sox as Foster fouls that off. We'll also have game 2 of the Dodgers and the Giants. It all starts tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Here's the 0-2.
1 ball.
Down low, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2. One-two pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2. We'll start our new NFL sim season on Wednesday of next week, New Year's Day. We might have a game New Year's Eve to start the season. Foster hits one out into right center field. On the warning track, making the play is Jackson Merrill for out number 2. Close but no cigar. And now Ernie Lombardi will come up. He's the catcher for the Reds. Johnny Bench is injured. I mentioned that earlier. If you're wondering why Bench is not in there, he's on injured reserve at the moment. Inside, ball 1. That's why Tony Gwynn's not playing either. For the Padres, he's injured. Big swing, and the count goes to 1-1. 2 outs, base is empty. Down low, 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike. They'll leave the count at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. And that's a shot into left field. Nevin will throw it in. It's a 2-out single for Ernie Lombardi, the catcher. That'll extend the inning. And now the second baseman, Joe Morgan, comes up. Of course, we all remember Joe Morgan on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. He did a great job. He passed away a few years back. They throw to first. Lombardi's back in time. 2 outs, runner on first for the Reds. Here in the bottom of the second, they lead at 1-0. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-0. Yankees beat the Indians 4-2 in the game before this. American League Game 1. Ball 2, it's up high. Counts 2-0 to Morgan. 2-0 pitch. Morgan fouls it down the first baseline. Count remains at 2-1. Two-one pitch. In there for a strike. Count goes to 2-2 to Morgan. 2-2 pitch. And that's fouled down the third base line. Long at bat for Joe Morgan. 2-2 pitch. He went around. They'll throw down to first to make it legal. And that'll end the inning. After 2 complete, the Reds, off a solo shot by Ted Kluzinski, takes a 1-0 lead here in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the third inning of the NL Wildcard Game 1. The DH, Adrian Gonzalez, will lead things off for the Padres. Eparixi still on the mound. Up high, 1-0.
Ball 1, no strike.
Reds lead it 1-0 here in Game 1 of the Wildcard. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fouls that one off. Count goes to 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. That's ripped into right center field. Coming over and making the play is Ed Roush in center field. 1 down for the Padres. Gonzalez flies out to center. And now the shortstop, Fernando Tatis. Fernando Tatis. I believe that's how it's pronounced. The shortstop.
Nope. Ball
Down low, 1-0.
Count 1-0.
And now the 1-0 pitch by Rixey.
Nope.
Inside, 2-0 to Tatis. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out, bases empty. The 2-0 pitch In there for a strike on the inside corner. Count goes to 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And the count goes to 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. Here's the full count pitch by Rixey. He fouls it. No, he hits it up in the air, out to Rose and left. And Rose will make the play for out number 2. So Tatis will fly out to left. And now the center fielder, Jackson Merrill, will come up. Gracie's in the room. How you doing, Gracie? When you coming home? Here's the pitch to Merrill, the center fielder, and it's a base hit as Robinson will flag it down and right. It's a 2-out single for Jackson Merrill. Next up, Sadahara O, the first baseman for the Padres. They throw to first, not in time. Merrill's back in time. O waiting for his first pitch. Here it is. And he fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. The best of 3. Reds lead it 1-0. We're on the top of the third. Sadahara O, the first baseman at the plate. Here's the 0-1. And that's ripped down the line. Foul ball. Count goes to 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Up high, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch. That's fouled off. Count remains at 1-2. A long at bat for O. Rixey trying to put him down. Here's the 1-2 pitch.
That's ball 2.
Ball 2 outside. We're at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard here at Jammin' Sports. The best of 3 series. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside, full count, 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. Fouled it off. Count remains at 3-2. Long at bat. Here's the 3-2. Up high. Ball 4. A 2-out walk for O. He'll head down to first base. That'll extend the inning. We have runners at first and second now for the Padres. And the second baseman, George Scales, will come up. A chance for the Padres to get back in this game. Here's the pitch by Rixey. Outside, 1-0. Merrill at second, O at first. Two outs. The count's 1-0 to Scales. Inside, 2-0. A walk would load the bases. And now the 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-1. Two balls on a strike to George Scales. The 2-1 pitch. Scales rips that one out to left. Rose goes back on the warning track and makes the play for the out. That'll end the inning. Reds lead it 1-0. As we go to the bottom of the third here at Jammin' Sports. National League Wildcard. The shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz, will lead things off for the Reds. Takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. National League Wildcard Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. Reds up 1-0. Bottom of the third inning. De La Cruz fouls it off. The count quickly 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch.
What do you got?
Did it go around? No. 1-2. If you're wondering, Concepcion is also injured for the Reds. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Count remains at 1-2 to Eli De La Cruz. 1-2 pitch.
That's a ball.
Down low. The count goes to 2-2. 2-2 pitch.
3.
Struck him out for out number 1. He goes down swinging. And now the center fielder, Ed Roush, will come up with 1 out, bases empty, here in the bottom of the third inning. Facing Lefferts. 1 out, bases empty. The pitch is fouled off, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. That's a rip right up the middle. Flagging it down, the center fielder, Merrill. And they're going to hold Roush to a single. A 1-out single for Ed Roush. And now the left fielder, Pete Rose, will come up. 1 out, runner on first. Roush back in time. Tried to pick him off at first. Rose awaiting his first pitch. And here's the pitch. He jammed him inside, fouled it off. Count goes to 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch to Rose. Up high, 1-1. Counts 1-1 to Pete Rose with 1 out, runner on first. The 1-1 pitch, a pitch out,
1 strike.
but Roush doesn't take the bait. And the count to Rose now goes to 2-1. We're in the bottom of the third. Reds lead at 1-0 here in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 2-2. If you missed it earlier, the Yankees beat the Indians in Game 1 of the American League Wildcard, 4-2. A ground ball to the shortstop, Tatis. They're going to turn 2, yes. And that'll end the inning. Rose grounds into a double play. At the end of 3, Reds lead at 1-0. The National League Wildcard, Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 4th. Luke Easter, the catcher, will lead things off for San Diego. Eparixi still on the mound for the Reds. Reds lead at 1-0. Here's the pitch.
Ball, that's out.
Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch.
Ball.
Outside, 2-0. Easter is the Padre catcher. Here's the 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. And now the 2-1 pitch. Fouled it off. Count evens up at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Broken bat, pops it up. Perez at third will make the play in foul territory. 1 out for the Padres here in the top of the 4th.
Number 23.
And now next up for the Padres, the left fielder, Phil Nevin. One out, bases empty. Rixey on the mound. The pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike one.
0-1 the count.
And now the 0-1 pitch. Popped it up. Robinson out in right field on the warning track. That one is gone. Phil Nevin. A solo shot home run for the Padres. And they've tied the game up at 1 run apiece. Here in the top of the 4th. Let's watch this one again. He got a hold of that one. We're tied at 1, and Dave Winfield will come up next, the right fielder. 1 out, bases empty.
Ball, that's off.
Outside, ball 1. The count goes to 1-0. Winfield, he went on to play with the Yankees later in his career, if you remember. And now the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. That'll even the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. 1 out, bases empty for the Padres here in the top of the 4th. 2-1 pitch. Fouled it off. Evens the count at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Down low, full count now to Winfield at 3-2. Three-two pitch. High in the air. Out to Roush in center. And Roush will make the play for out number 2 as Winfield flies out to center field. 2 down for the Padres here in the top of the 4th. Ken Caminiti up next. He's playing third base today. Here's the pitch.
No, that's low.
Down low, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Ripped foul.
Foul ball.
That'll even the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases empty. The 1-1 pitch to Caminiti.
That's
Down low, 2-1.
You got 2 balls, 1 strike.
And now the 2-1 pitch. Popped it up. Linzinski at first base makes the play for the final out. We go to the bottom of the 4th, but Phil Nevin, a solo shot home run for the Padres, ties things up here in Game 1 of the NL Wildcard here at Jammin' Sports.
Leading off for
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Right fielder Frank Robinson will lead things off for the Reds. Lefert's still on the mound for the Padres. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1.
0-1.
We're tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. 0-1 pitch. A ground ball to Caminiti. He'll throw to first for the out. Robinson grounds out to third. 1 down for the Reds.
19.
And now Ted Kluszewski. I think it's Klazewski. Those names are hard to pronounce. The first baseman. 1 out, bases empty.
Ball 1.
Up high, ball 1, count goes to 1-0. I was listening to the PA guy. I think it's Klazewski. Klazewski, the first baseman. Counts 2-0. 1 out, bases empty. Klazewski, there you go. I got it.
Ball, that's out.
Outside, 3-0. Trying to draw a 1 out walk. And now the 3-0 pitch. Took a swing. Why are you swinging at a 3-0 pitch?
1 strike.
And the count's at 3-1. You never swing at 3-0. You try to get the walk. And now the 3-1. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Full count now, 3-2. Three-two pitch. Ball 4. He draws the walk. And the Reds have a runner on first with one out. And now the third baseman, Tony Perez, will come up. One out, runner on first. That's Kluzinski. Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0 to Perez. The 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. We're at the Great American Ballpark, Cincinnati, Ohio. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard here at Jammin' Sports. We're tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. And now the 2-0 pitch to Perez. Perez knocks one into left center field. It's going to drop, go to the wall. That's going to be extra bases. Kluzinski is coming around. Are they going to bring him home? No. Yes, he comes home. It's a double for Perez and an RBI. As Kluzinski will score from first. They brought him home. Easy play. And the Reds lead it 2-1. Perez with an RBI double at second base with one out. George Foster, the DH, comes up. Foster rips it foul down the first base line. Foster also plays left field and right field. He's the DH today. Counts 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1-1. Crowd getting into it, saying, let's go Reds. Here's the 1-1. In their first strike, 1-2. The Reds have taken a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 4th of Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. Here's the 1-2.
That's ball 2.
Ball 2 evens up the count at 2-2. Perez at second base. And now the 2-2 pitch. Up high, 3-2. Full count to Foster. The pitch. Inside, ball 4. And the Reds now have runners at first and second with just one out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And I think that's it for Lefferts. He'll hit the showers early. Let's see who the Padres bring in now. This will be Joe Musgrove coming into relief for San Diego. Reds lead it 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, just one out. And the catcher, Ernie Lombardi, will come up. Pete Rose is injured. Or not Pete Rose. Johnny Bench is injured on injured reserve. In their first strike, 0-1. King warming up in the bullpen for the Padres. One out. Runners at first and second. Lombardi at the plate. In their first strike, 0-2. Perez at second base. Here's the 0-2. Rips it into left field. Going back is Nevin. Makes the play. And they quickly throw it in, keeping the runners at bay. 2 down for the Reds. And they still have runners at first and second. Lombardi flies out to left. And now the second baseman, Joe Morgan, comes up. With 2 outs, runners at first and second. Down low. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. In their first strike, they'll leave the count at 1-1. Crowd didn't like that. 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2. Two down here in the bottom of the 4th. 1-2 count to Morgan. Here's the pitch. Down the third base line, hooking foul. Count remains at 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Inside to hit him. Bases are loaded now for the Reds, as Morgan will be awarded first base. And Eli De La Cruz, the shortstop, comes up. Bases loaded, 2 outs. De La Cruz at the plate. Here's the pitch. In their first strike, 0-1. Concepcion is also injured for the Reds. That's why De La Cruz is playing shortstop tonight. Here's the 0-1. To the third baseman, Caminetti. They take the easy out. And the Reds squander a bases loaded situation, but Perez, with an RBI double, gives the Reds a 2-1 lead. We go to the top of the 5th here at Jammin' Sports. National League Wildcard Game 1. We go to the top of the 5th. Reds lead it 2-1. The DH for the Padres, Adrian Gonzalez, will lead things off. Epirixi still on the mound. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Took a big swing, 0-2. And now the 0-2. Fouls it off. Count remains 0-2 to Adrian Gonzalez, the Padre designated hitter today. The 0-2. Up high, 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And now the 1-2 pitch.
That's the ball.
Down low, 2-2. Reds lead it 2-1 here in the top of the 5th, Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Struck him out for out number 1. The big story in this one is not who is playing, but who is not. Bench and Concepcion are injured for the Reds, and Gwynn is injured for the Padres. That's why we don't see them tonight. They all got injured towards the end of the regular season, and they're all on injured reserve. Fernando Tatis, the shortstop, comes up. Up high, 1-0. 1 out for the Padres. Base is empty here in the top of the 5th. And now the 1-0 pitch.
Yep, that ball went out.
Outside the strike zone, 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch. In their first strike, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Big swing and struck. Nope. 2-2. I got ahead of myself. And now the 2-2 pitch. Now he struck out. 2 down for the Padres. 4 strikeouts now for Rixey. And now the center fielder, Jackson Merrill, will come up. Misty's walking around again. How you doing, Misty? Who are you rooting for in this one? Cincinnati or San Diego? She's rooting for Cincinnati. That's fouled off. The count's 0-1. You're for the Brown team, San Diego? All right. 2 outs, base is empty. Here's the 0-1 to Merrill. Fouls that one off. The count goes to 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. It remains 0-2. We have more college football and Major League Baseball tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Outside, 1-2. We'll have the 2 college football semifinal games. I'll tell you who that is in a second. Here's the 1-2. And that's fouled off. 1-2 to Jackson Merrill. And make sure I give you good information here. And now the 1-2 pitch. A ground ball back to Rixey. He'll take his time, throw to first, and that'll end the inning. At the end of 4 1/2, the Reds lead it 2-1. National League Wildcard Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Ed Roush, the center fielder, will lead things off for the Reds with a 2-1 lead. Joe Musgrove on the mound for the Padres. Here's the pitch. Down the third base line, out of play. All right, the semifinal games in college football tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. We'll have Nebraska taking on Georgia and Ohio State taking on Clemson.
Ball, that's inside.
Inside, 1-1 to Ed Roush. Again, college football, the doubleheader at 1 Eastern. They fouled that one off. Count goes to 1-2 to Ed Roush. Nobody out, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 5th. A ground ball to the first baseman. Oh, he'll step on the bag for the out. Roush grounds out to first. 1 down for the Reds. Pete Rose, the left fielder, will come up next. Playing left field. He also plays first and third. He's all over the place. 1 out, bases empty. Here's the pitch.
Ball.
Down low, 1-0.
Ball 1, no strike.
1 out, bases empty for the Reds. Here's the pitch. Rose rips it foul down the third base line. And the count goes to 1-1. One pitch. Pops it up down the line. Out of play. Counts at 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rose. 1 out, bases empty. Here's the pitch. Struck him out for out number 2. After college football tomorrow, we'll have game 2 of the American League wild card between the A's and the Red Sox. A's lead that series 1-0. As Frank Robinson comes to the plate, the right fielder.
Ball, that's out.
Outside, ball 1. And then we'll have game 2 of the Giants and the Dodgers of the National League wild card. Giants lead that series 1-0.
Ball 2.
Down low, 2-0.
2 balls, no strike.
Counts 2-0 to Frank Robinson, the right fielder. And now the 2-0 pitch. Rips it foul. Counts at 2-1. Two-one pitch. Fouled it off. Count remains at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Fouls it off down the line. Count remains at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. The 2-2 pitch by Musgrove. Down low, full count now, 3-2. Klazewski. I'll get that name right. Klazewski on deck. And now the 3-2 pitch.
Ball 4.
Ball 4.
First base.
A 2-out walk for Robinson.
The first baseman.
And now the first baseman, Klazewski, will come up. He hit a home run the last time he came up. A solo shot. Another one would be nice for the Reds right here. 2 outs, runner on first.
Nope.
Down low, ball 1. Robinson at first base for the Reds. It's like Lou Ferrigno at the plate. I mean, look how big this guy is. One-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1.
1-1.
He should be playing football, not baseball. And now the 1-1. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2 to Klazewski. One-two pitch. in the dirt. And the count goes to 2-2. Robinson stays at first base. They throw to first. Robinson's back in time. Count remains at 2-2 with 2 outs. The pitch by Musgrove. Fouled it off. Count remains at 2-2. Musgrove looks in. The 2-2 pitch. Ripped into right center field. Going back over is the center fielder Merrill. Makes the play for the final out. At the end of 5, the Reds lead it 2-1. National League Wildcard Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 6th inning. First baseman Sadahara O will lead things off for the San Diego Padres. Rixey still on the mound. Reds with a 2-1 lead. The pitch. O to the second baseman Morgan. Throws to first for the out. O grounds out to second. Joe Morgan, a Golden Glover, makes the play. 1 down for San Diego. Second baseman George Scales comes up for the Padres. 1 out, bases empty. Inside. Count goes to 1-0.
Count 1-0.
One out, bases empty. The 1-0 pitch by Rixey. Scales. It drifts foul down the third base line. The count goes to 1-1. He got a good rip on that one, but it went foul. And now the 1-1 pitch. Fouls that one off. Count goes to 1-2 to the second baseman, George Scales. And now the 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Padres. Rixey throwing some heat. Here in the top of the 6th, the catcher, Luke Easter, comes up with 2 outs, bases empty. And that's fouled off down the first base line, 0-1. Reds lead at 2-1 here in the National League Wildcard Game 1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Ripped right to Morgan at second. He'll make an easy play for the final out. At the end of 5.5, the Reds lead at 2-1. National League Wildcard Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Third baseman Tony Perez will lead things off for Cincinnati, leading 2-1. Musgrove still on the mound for the Padres. Here's the pitch. Ripped into left field, no doubt about that one. First pitch. And the Reds take a 3-1 lead. That one got out of here in a hurry. Wow. 3-1 Reds here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch of the bottom of the 6th inning. Let's watch this one again. Third baseman Tony Perez got all of that one. There was no doubt. The sound the ball made on the bat, you knew it was a home run. And now George Foster will come up, the DH. In there for a strike, 0-1. So the Reds go up by 2 runs now here in the bottom of the 6th inning. George Foster, he also plays left field. He's the DH tonight. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Rips it foul, 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. A ground ball to Scales at second. He'll throw to first for the out. Foster grounds out to second for out number 1. George Scales making the play. 1 down, base is empty. And now the catcher, Erdy Lombardi, will come up. 1 out, base is empty. Lombardi inside. It's a ball. Count goes to 1-0. Like I said before, Johnny Bench and Concepcion. What was Concepcion's first name? I forget. Their starting catcher and shortstop are both on injured reserve. That's why they're not playing tonight. And Tony Gwynn for the Padres on injured reserve. The 1-1 pitch has popped up. Oh, at first base. Makes the play in foul territory for out number 2. 2 down for the Reds here in the bottom of the 6th. And now the second baseman, Joe Morgan, will come up. The Hall of Famer. The pitch. Popped up. Scales at second base. Will make the play for the out. At the end of 6 complete, Tony Perez, a solo shot, gives Cincinnati a 3-1 lead after 6. The National League Wildcard, Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Back in the 4th inning, Nevin did this. A solo shot home run. Phil Nevin, the left fielder. And he leads off the 7th inning for San Diego. Trailing 3-1. Rixey's still on the mound for the Reds. In their first strike, 0-1. Myers and Diaz warming up with the bullpen for Cincinnati. The count's 0-1 to Nevin. 0-1 pitch. Inside pitch, he swung at it, 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. Reds lead at 3-1 here in the top of the 7th. Here's the 0-2. Nevin fouls it off again. Count remains at 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. And the count's at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. The Great America Ballpark in Cincinnati is where we are tonight. Here's the 2-2. And that's popped up. Perez in foul territory comes over and makes the play for out number 1. So Nevin pops out to the third baseman. 1 down for the Padres. And now Dave Winfield, the right fielder, will come up. 1 out, base is empty. The pitch by Rixey. In there for a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Down low and inside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, base is empty. Winfield at the plate. 1-1 pitch. Rips it foul. Watch out there in the first row. And the count goes to 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out for out number 2. 6 strikeouts now for Rixey tonight. 2 down for San Diego here in the top of the 7th. Third baseman Ken Caminiti will come up next for the Padres. Two outs, bases empty. Here's the pitch. Up high. The count goes to 1-0. That's my dachshund in the background. Her name's Ginger. The cat's got too close. She's guarding a chew toy. Here's the 1-0 pitch to CINCINNATI. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-1. One pitch.
Ball 2.
Up high. Count goes to 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
2-1 to CINCINNATI, the third baseman. Here's the pitch by Rixey. Big swing and a miss.
2 balls.
That'll even the count at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Popped it up. Robinson comes over in right field and makes the play for the final out. At the end of 6.5, Reds lead at 3-1. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Eli De La Cruz, the shortstop, will lead things off for Cincinnati. Taking the place of Concepcion tonight, who's on injured reserve. Here's the pitch.
Nope, that's a ball.
Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. Bell and Clement warming up in the bullpen for the Padres. And now the 1-0 pitch. De La Cruz slaps it to O at first. He'll throw to Musgrove, covering the bag for the out. Nice play by O. And they tagged him ahead of time. One down for the Reds. Ed Roush, the center fielder, will come up next. 1 out, bases empty. In there for a strike, 0-1. The Big Red Machine leading the Padres 3-1. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. Here in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 pitch. A ground ball to the shortstop. That's Tatis who makes the play for the out. Fernando Tatis
The left fielder.
making the play. Roush grounds out to short. 2 down for the Reds. And the left fielder, Pete Rose, will come up. Two outs, bases empty. Facing Joe Musgrove. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Ripped into left field, but making the play is Phil Nevin for the Padres. And that'll end the inning. After 7 complete, the Reds lead at 3-1. National League Wildcard, Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. New pitcher Randy Myers comes in for the Reds here in the top of the 8th. Reds up 3-1 here in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. It's a best-of-3 series.
Leading off for San Diego.
The designated hitter, Adrian Gonzalez, will lead things off for San Diego. The first pitch by Myers.
Ball.
Low and inside, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. And now the 2-0 to Gonzalez.
Ball, that's out.
Outside, 3-0. Come on, Myers. You're fresh. Throw strikes. Here's the 3-0.
Nope, that's ball 4.
Ball 4 and 4 pitches. What a way to debut in relief. Gonzalez is on first base for the Padres. Now the tying run is at the plate. Fernando Tatis, the shortstop. Facing Randy Myers, they throw back to first. And he's back in time. The pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. No balls and a strike. Runner on first, nobody out. Here's the pitch. Fouled it off. Count goes to 0-2 to Tatis. That's hard to say. Got to practice that. Here's the 0-2. Down low, 1-2. Myers didn't like it. Wants to know what was wrong with that one. Tatis with a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Down low, 2-2. Myers is not impressing me at all. Here's the 2-2. Right up the gut, and it's knocked down by De La Cruz. But that's going to be an infield single for Tatis. Back-to-back singles for the Padres. And now the tying run is at first, and the go-ahead run is coming to the plate. Jackson Merrill, the center fielder. Nobody out. Padres can get back in this game, as Myers has been less than stellar in relief. Gonzalez at second. The center fielder Merrill at the plate. Down low, ball 1. A walk below the bases. Crowd is getting restless, to say the least. Here's the 1-0. Ball 2. Crowd really getting restless. You can hear them in the background voicing their displeasure. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Merrill. Pops it up. Lombardi going back and makes the play in foul territory for out number 1. That's a huge out. Now the Reds can end the inning with a double play. And first baseman Sadaharu O comes up, the Japanese import. Gonzalez at second base. Here's the pitch. Oh, pops it up. De La Cruz comes over. Infield fly rule in effect. It makes the play. 2 down as O pops out to short. And now the second baseman George Scales will come up. Padres, they don't want to squander this opportunity. 2 down. Runners at first and second. The pitch by Myers. And Scales rips one out into center field. Roush can't get to it. 1 run scores. 2 runs will score as Scales ends up with a double. I'm sure they'll rule that a double. A 2-run double for George Scales, and that ties up the ball game. Ed Roush, the center fielder, dove for it, couldn't quite get to it. And now it's a whole new ball game. And that's it for Myers. Wayne Granger will come in. Way to go, Myers. You let them tie up the game. And now Granger will come in with 2 outs and a runner on second base, facing the catcher, Luke Easter. The pitch.
1-0.
Inside, 1-0. The Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, they're not happy, as the Padres are back in it. We're tied at 3 here in the top of the 8th. Granger looks in. Here's the pitch. Granger out to, it drops. Rose will throw it in out to left field. And that's going to score a run. Luke Easter with an RBI single, scoring Scales from second base. And the Padres have scored 3 this inning and have taken a 4-3 lead here in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. And they're not done yet. Phil Nevin will come in, the left fielder. A 3-run inning for the Padres so far. They've taken the lead. They throw to first, not in time. Easter back in time. And now the pitch by Granger. It's a strike, 0-1. 0-1 pitch. A pitch out. They don't take the bait. And the count goes to 1-1 to Nevin. The Padres have come from behind to take the lead. A 3-run 8th inning. Here's the 1-1. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 to Nevin. And now the 1-2 pitch. A ground ball, but it's foul down the third base line. Counts at 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Up high, full count to Nevin at 3-2. Granger trying to retire the side. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it up. Out over the first base line. Count remains at 3-2 to Phil Nevin, the left fielder. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2. Three-two pitch.
Nope.
Ball 4. And now the Padres have runners at first and second. This has been a terrible inning pitcher-wise for the Reds. Dave Winfield will come up. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Winfield, the right fielder for San Diego. The pitch. Ripped it foul. Count goes to 0-1. 0-1 pitch.
Ball, inside.
It's a ball. Count goes to 1-1. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Winfield at the plate. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And now the 1-2. Winfield strikes out. And that'll end the inning. However, San Diego with 3 runs take a 4-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. National League Wildcard Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. Mike Adams will come into pitch for San Diego as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Padres have taken a 4-3 lead here in Game 1. The Reds had the weapons, though, to come back. We know that. Frank Robinson, the right fielder, will lead things off for Cincinnati here in the bottom of the 8th, trailing by a run. The pitch by Adams. In there for a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. Show and Clement warming up with the bullpen for the Padres. The count's 1-1 to Robinson. Here's the pitch by Adams. Inside, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Inside, 3-1. Klazuski on deck. He hit a home run earlier. And now the 3-1 to Robinson. Ripped it to Caminiti, but they call it foul. It'll be 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. Struck him out looking for out number 1. Robinson didn't like that call. 1 down for the Reds here in the bottom of the 8th. Let's watch this one again from Umpire Cam. Easter did a great job framing that pitch. And now the first baseman, Ted Kluszewski, will come up. Ball 1, count goes to 1-0. 1 out, bases empty. Reds trail by 1, 4-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. And now the 1-0 pitch by Adams. Fouled off. That'll even the count at 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. A ground ball up the middle, a base hit by Kluszewski. And the tying run is at first base. The go-ahead run will come to the plate. The third baseman, Tony Perez, will come up next. Perez hit a home run earlier in the night. It'd be a good time to hit one again. One out, runner on first base. Perez at the plate. Here's the pitch by Adams. Outside, 1-0. He's had a pretty good night. Home run and a double. Pitch is inside, 2-0. Reds down a run, trying to rally here in the 8th. They throw to first. Kluszewski back in time. Meanwhile, the count is 2-0 to Tony Perez, the third baseman. The pitch by Adams. Up high, 3-0. Oh, Foster's on deck, and we know he can hit a ton. Counts 3-0 to Perez. 3-0 pitch. Fouled it off. Count goes to 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on first base. 3-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Full count to Perez at 3-2. Three-two pitch. A ground ball. Back to the pitcher, Adams. He throws to first, gets the force. It'll be a sacrifice. It moves Kluszewski down to second base. And now the tying run is at second, as George Foster will come up. But Foster needs a base hit to score the runner. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Foster, the DH tonight for Cincinnati. Kluszewski at second base. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off. 0-1. No balls and a strike to Foster. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off again. Count quickly, 0-2. Adams trying to retire the side without giving up a run. Now the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Kluszewski at second base. Here's the 1-2. Foster hits one out to right field. Winfield going back. And Winfield makes the play, and that'll end the inning. They threaten but don't score. The Padres lead it 4-3. We go to the 9th. National League Wildcard Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 9th inning. The Padres will be looking for insurance runs. Third baseman Ken Caminiti will lead things off. Wayne Granger, the pitcher, fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. So we will have a bottom of the 9th as the Padres are up 4-3. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
Padres trying to steal Game 1 here in Cincinnati. It's a best of 3. Here's the 1-1. In there for a strike, 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And now the 1-2 pitch.
Nope.
Inside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Popped it up. Who wants it? Morgan calls everybody off at second, makes the play for the out. 1 down for the Padres here in the top of the 9th. As Caminiti pops out to second. The DH, Adrian Gonzalez, will come up now. 1 out, base is empty. Here's the pitch by Granger.
Nope, outside.
They call that outside. Ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. And that's hit sharply out to left. Rose will get under it and makes the play for out number 2. Gonzalez flies out to left field. 2 down for the Padres here at the top of the 9th. And now Fernando Tatis, the shortstop, will come up with 2 outs, bases empty. Granger trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, shoulder high, 1-1. 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. Padres up 4-3 here in the top of the 9th. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to Morgan. At second, he spins, throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Padres lead it 4-3 here in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard here at Jammin' Sports. Eric Show comes in to pitch for the Padres here in the bottom of the 9th. The Reds need 1 to tie, 2 to win. Here in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard, the catcher, Ernie Lombardi, will step up to the plate to lead things off for the Reds. Here's the pitch by Show.
Off the plate,
Ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Lombardi out to left field. And it's gone. A solo shot home run by Ernie Lombardi, the catcher, ties the game up here in the bottom of the 9th. Just inside the foul pole. And there's nobody out. Wow. Let's watch this one again. The backup catcher, Ernie Lombardi, filling in for Johnny Bench tonight. Right down the left field line. And we're tied at 4. And now the second baseman, Joe Morgan, comes up. Still nobody out. In there for a strike. All the Reds need now is 1 run to win the game. Counts 0-1 to Morgan. And now the 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. Bell and Clement warming up for the Padres. Counts 0-2 to Joe Morgan. The 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. Reds can win it with 1 swing of the bat right here. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-2 to Morgan. One-two pitch. Fouls it off again. Long at bat for Joe Morgan, the second baseman. Count remains at 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive at 1-2. Long at bat. And now the 1-2 pitch. Pops it up out of play. Count remains at 1-2. A lot of pitches to Morgan. 8 so far. And now the 1-2 pitch. Up high. Count goes to 2-2. Eric Show trying to record an out. Reds have nobody out in a tie ball game. Bottom of the 9th. Struck him out for out number 1. As Morgan took a big swing. 1 down for the Reds here in the bottom of the 9th in a tie ball game. Eli De La Cruz, the shortstop, comes up. All the Reds need is a run to win the game. In their first strike, knee high, 0-1. Crowd didn't like that. Here's the 0-1. Fouls it off. Quickly 0-2 to De La Cruz. We could have extra innings here. And now the 0-2 pitch. Up high, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Reds.
The center fielder, Ed Roush.
And now the center fielder for Cincinnati, Ed Roush, will come up with 2 outs, bases empty. We're tied at 4 here in the bottom of the ninth. He can win it with a home run. The pitch by Show. He went around, strike 1. The count goes to 0-1. This is looking like extra innings. Here's the 0-1. Ripped to Scales at second. He throws to first for the out. We played 9 complete. We're tied at 4. We go to extra innings. Game 1 of the National League Wild Card here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the 10th. Jackson Merrill, the center fielder, will lead things off in the top of the 10th inning. Wayne Granger on the mound for the Reds. The pitch by Granger is fouled off by Merrill. And the count goes to 0-1. We're tied at 4 here in the top of the 10th. Here's the pitch. Popped up, Rose in left field, goes back and makes the play for out number 1. 1 down for the Padres here in the top of the 10th. First baseman Sadaharu O will come up. 1 out, bases empty. The pitch by Granger. Ripped into left field, but foul. The count goes to 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. He went around. It goes to 0-2 to 0. And now the 0-2 pitch. Down low, he went around, struck him out. 2 down for the Padres here at the top of the 10th. Second baseman George Scales comes up now for San Diego with 2 outs, bases empty. Pitch by Granger. Inside, 1-0. An exciting game 1 of this National League Wild Card Series. Here's the 1-0. Up high, 2-0. Padres trying to retake the lead. And now the 2-0 pitch. Rips it foul. Count goes to 2-1. That would have been a ball had he let it go. The count's at 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off. That'll even the count at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Swung and struck him out. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Tied at 4. National League Wild Card. Game 1 here at Jammin' Sports. Bonus baseball for you here. We're in the bottom of the 10th. Pete Rose will step up to lead off the bottom of the 10th for the Reds in a tie ball game. He can end the game right here with a home run. Facing Eric Show in their first strike, 0-1.
0-1.
We're tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 10th. All the Reds need is 1 run. And now the 0-1 pitch. Pops it up down the first baseline, foul. And the count goes to 0-2 to Pete Rose. And now the 0-2. Inside pitch has popped up. Winfield in right field will come up and makes the play for the out. One down for the Reds here in the bottom of the 10th. And now the right fielder, Frank Robinson, will come up. One out, bases empty. All they need is a run. The pitch by Show. Big swing and a miss, strike one.
0-1's the count.
The count goes to 0-1. One out, bases empty. Robinson at the plate. The pitch outside, 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike. One out, bases empty. The pitch by Show. In there for a strike. Full count now to Robinson with one out. Three-two pitch. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Reds here in the bottom half of the 10th inning.
Number 19.
Wow. And now the first baseman will come up next. Ted Kluszewski. He had a home run earlier. He can win it right here with 2 outs, bases empty. In there for a strike, 0-1. It's like the Incredible Hulk at the plate. I mean, look at that guy. And now the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. We're tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 10th inning with 2 outs, bases empty. Here's the 1-1. Kluszewski out to center field, but Merrill's going to catch it for the final out. We go to the 11th inning. We stay tied at 4 here at Jammin' Sports. We have a new pitcher, Jose Rio, will come in for the Reds here in the top half of the 11th inning. We're tied at 4. A couple of years ago, we did a game that went like, I think 19 innings or something. We were here till like 1 in the morning. Luke Easter, the catcher, will come up to face Jose Rio. Fouls that one off. Strike one. Count goes to 0-1. We're tied at 4 here in the top of the 11th. We don't do that rule where you put a guy on second base. We don't like that. Here's the 0-1. It's a strike. Count goes to 0-2 to Easter. And now the 0-2 pitch. Easter rips one into right field. A home run, a solo shot. And the Padres take a 5-4 lead here in the top of the 11th. I mean, that one almost left the building. Where did that one land? I think it landed in the Ohio River. Let's take a look at this one. That was a rocket shot. I'm sure the boys in the truck will show this one again. Here we go. A monster shot by Luke Easter, the catcher. Where did that one land? Okay, it didn't go as far as I thought. Still a home run, and the Padres lead at 5-4. And now Phil Nevin will come up, the left fielder. Nobody out, nobody on. Padres with a 5-4 lead now here at the top of the 11th. It got quiet here at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Rio on the mound. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. now the 1-1. Rips it foul. 1-2. We're at the top of the 11th. The Padres have just taken a 5-4 lead. And now the 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2. The game that won't end. And now the 2-2 pitch. Down low, 3-2, full count to Nevin. Three-two pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2. Three-two pitch. Pops it up. Tony Perez at third will get under it. And makes the play for out number 1. One down for the Padres here in the top of the 11th. Dave Winfield, the right fielder, will come up next with one out, bases empty. The pitch by Rio. Up high, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0.
2 balls, no strikes.
2 balls, no strikes. Bases empty. One out. Here's the pitch. Ripped it foul. Count goes to 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. Up high, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike to Dave Winfield. The 3-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Full count, 3-2. And it's ball 4. It's a walk. Winfield will be awarded first base. Still just one out with a runner on first. Ken Caminiti comes up. The third baseman, Rio, throws low. Ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. Reds can't seem to retire the side here on the top of the 11th. They throw to first. Winfield's back in time. It counts 1-0 to Caminiti. Padres lead at 5-4 here on the top of the 11th. The pitch by Rio. Big swing and a miss. They'll even the count at 1-1. And now the 1-1. Outside, 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. In their first strike, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on first. That's Winfield. 2-2 pitch. Inside, 3-2. Full count. It's a long half inning. 3-2 pitch. Ripped it foul. Count remains at 3-2. We're in extra innings. The Padres have taken a 5-4 lead here on the top of the 11th. Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. Here's the 3-2. Ripped it into right field. The base hit. Trying to go for third. Winfield gets nailed at third base. Great throw by Frank Robinson to Perez. 2 down. Caminiti will get the base hit. He was out. And now the designated hitter, Adrian Gonzalez, will come up. 2 outs, runner on first. Fouls it off. Strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. Padres lead at 5-4 here on the top of the 11th. The Reds are going to have to score at least 1 run in the bottom of the 11th to keep the game going. They throw to first. Caminiti back in time. The count's 0-1. The pitch up high, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on first. That's CINCINNATI. And now the 1-1 pitch to Gonzalez.
Ball, that's out.
Outside, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch.
That's out.
There goes the runner. He's safe.
He's in there, safe.
CINCINNATI safe at second base. Meanwhile, the count is 3-1 to Gonzalez. The Padres are not content with 1 run. They want to try and get another one. But this game, we're at an hour and 45 already. It's a long game. The count's 3-1 to Gonzalez. Rips it foul. Is 3-2. And now Gonzalez with a full count. The pitch is fouled off. Count remains at 3-2. Rez just trying to get out of the inning. Here's the pitch by Rio. Popped up out of play. Count remains at 3-2 to Adrian Gonzalez. 2 outs, runner on second base. And now the pitch. Swung and struck him out. And that'll finally end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 11th. Luke Easter, a solo shot home run, giving the Padres a 5-4 lead here in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 11th, back in the 6th inning. This is what Perez did. He hit a shot over the left field wall for a home run. The Reds would love for him to do that again. We're in the bottom of the 11th. Padres lead at 5-4. The Reds need 1 run to tie, 2 to win. First pitch is down low, 1-0 to Tony Perez, the third baseman. And now the 1-0. Big swing and a miss, strike 1.
1 ball, 1 strike.
1 ball and 1 strike to Perez. Perez hits high in the air. Merrill in center field gets under it. He makes the play for out number 1. The Padres are 2 outs away from taking a 1-0 lead in this series. And now the DH, George Foster, comes up. He can tie it up with 1 swing of the bat.
Ball, that's out.
Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Ripped foul. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, bases empty. Here's the 1-1 to Foster. A ground ball into center field. Merrill will throw it in. It's a 1-out single. The tying run is now at first base for the Reds. And the winning run will come to the plate. He snuck that one by the second baseman, George Scales, excuse me. Ernie Lombardi hit a home run last time he came up, the catcher, with 1 out, runner on first. Outside, 1-0. The Padres are looking for a double play to end the game. (1-0) Lombardi at the plate. He can win the game with 1 swing of the bat. Down low, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0. Three balls, no strikes, 1 out, runner on first. You don't want to swing here. Here's the pitch. It's a strike, 3-1. Now you can swing. 3 balls and a strike. We're in the bottom of the 11th inning. Padres up by a run. The tying run's at first base. That's George Foster. They throw to first. Foster gets back. The count is 3-1. 3-1 pitch. in their first strike. Full count now to Lombardi.
Full count.
This is a huge pitch right here. 3-2. Struck him out for out number 2. The Padres are 1 out away from taking a 1-0 lead in this series.
The second baseman, Joe
Let's watch this one again.
Morgan.
And now the second baseman, Joe Morgan, will come to the plate to try to win it for the Reds. It comes down to this, as Heath Bell will come in to pitch to Morgan. All Morgan has to do is hit a home run. Foster's at first base still with 2 outs. The Hall of Famer, the second baseman, at the plate. Here's the pitch. Inside, oh, it hit him. It hit his foot. And now the winning runs at first base. Eli De La Cruz will come up to bat, the shortstop. This might be an easier batter. The pitch. Up high, ball 1. Padres, they just need one more out. And now the 1-0. Cruz took a big swing. The count's out 1-1. One pitch. Up, oh, it's in there. 1-2. Padres are a strike away. Eli De La Cruz with a 1-2 count. The pitch by Bell is fouled off. Count remains at 1-2. If he can just put it in play and score Foster from second base. The 1-2. Struck him out. The Padres win it. In 11 innings, your final score. The Padres 5, the Reds 4 here in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard. Padres take a 1-0 lead in the series. Once again, your final score, the Padres over the Reds in 11 innings, 5-4 to take a 1-0 lead in the series. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time for the college football doubleheader semifinal games, and we'll have more Major League Baseball after that. Until then, good night, everybody.